when we are looking to graph in slope-intercept form, right, because that's what we have, graph y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1, there is a small checklist or steps that we want to make sure we follow. And so down below, I'm actually going to write out the steps as we do them. And so the first thing we always want to do is write our y-intercept as a point. When we're working with slope-intercept, it gives us the y-intercept. It just doesn't look like it. And so we want to write it as a coordinate point. And so if I go back up to this original equation, I see that plus 1 is at the end. Okay? Well, that means that b is equal to 1. And so my y-intercept should actually just be 0, 1. Okay. Now, for 2, put bathroom hands down. It's notes. No one's going anyway. Again, it's notes. No one's going anyway. Come down. For 2. Now, this is going to seem redundant because slope is starting as this. However, we want to write slope as a fraction with arrows. Write slope as a fraction with arrows. Again, it's already a fraction. That's totally fine. Arrows, I'm going to explain what I mean when I write this. And so if I look back up, is my slope positive or is my slope negative? Just say it. Is it positive or is it negative? Negative. It's negative. Okay. And so when slope is negative, I'm going to assign that negative sign to my numerator. And so m is actually negative 2 over 3. Now, remember, slope, change in y over change in x. If we have a negative 2 in our numerator, what direction would we have had to move for that to be a negative? Up or down? Kyrell? Down. And so negative 2, and so it's 2 down. And then underneath, we have a positive 3. Positive in the x direction is where? Positive in the x direction is where? So hi, to the right. And so what this becomes is a key to tell us how we go from one point to the next point. And so going back now, okay, we've done the first two. These annotations are super important. These annotations I expect to see every time you graph something that's in slope-intercept. Third step, plot the y-intercept. That's the only actual coordinate point we have right now, and so we want to use it. All right, well, if I go back up, right, we named it was 0, 1. That's going to go right here. And then once we have that plotted, the last step down here is use slope to find 2 more points. Find slope to find, or use slope to find 2 more points. For us, minimum of 3 points on a line. Minimum of 3 points on a line. And so I'm going to go back up. Okay. You can see my slope fractions at the bottom of my page and my points at the top. And so now, using slope from this point, I'm going to go down 2. 1, 2, and then to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. That's where my second point is. From my second point, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Down 2. 1, 2. To the right 3. 1, 2, 3. There's my next point. And so the reason we put the arrows are so that it's super easy to see how we go from one point to the next. Again, here's my y-intercept. That's the first thing I do. I go down 2, to the right 3. There's the next point. Because this tells me down 2 to the right 3. From here, down 2 to the right 3. there's that next point. And so I'm using that slope to get from point to point. The last thing that's left, and I'm not actually even going to write this because we're graphing, and so I'm hoping this is obvious. Draw your line. And so you all have rulers. Please draw in your line. I'm going to do as best as I can to get a straight line. That works. What questions do we have on graphing? Gabrielle, question. All right, then. Some of us are already starting. Get these folded and glued into your notebook, please. You're going to have 1 minute.